Welcome everyone. Today we're going to learn how to carve a pumpkin. So I have a pumpkin here. That's a little small. No, that's not going to work. We want an orange one. That one is kind of weird. What about that one? No. That one got the right color, but not shaped right. That one's even more weird. But wait, I think I might have a pumpkin right here. This is the pumpkin that we are going to carve today. So what we're going to do when we start is we're going to carve a big hole in the top of this so that we can scoop out what's on the inside. But before I do that, I think I need to get ready by getting rid of my hat. So let's take a look at what it takes to take the top off a pumpkin. The first thing we want to do is mark the top of the pumpkin where we're going to make the first cut. So we just use a little marker like that. So after you draw around the top, you take one of these and you poke it in and you create a bunch of these little holes. And these little holes, what they do is they give you the opportunity to get a little saw into the pumpkin. So you create that right there. You go all the way around, all the little holes right like this, all the way around the pumpkin top, and then you're able to grab one of the saws that you will use to cut the top off. So what we end up doing is you put the saw into one of the little holes and you just come up and down and up and down and up and down, and you saw through all those little holes that you have for the top of the pumpkin. Saw and you finish, and then what has to happen is you have to find something that'll help pull the top off of the pumpkin. So I have a pumpkin scoop right here that I'm going to stick in right here, and I'm going to pry that up, and here's what the inside looks like. It has seeds in it. These are pumpkin seeds that are attached inside the pumpkin. And these seeds will need to be cleaned out before we actually cut the rest of the pumpkin. With the top, you scrape off all of that stuff here and you put it in a bowl, right? So you had some seeds and some of the stuff hanging from this, but then you have to kind of reach down into the pumpkin, take a look at what's in there. This is the fun stuff. This is all of the seeds and all of the slimy stuff that's in there. But what's really neat about how God made this is these seeds, if they're correct, you can plant and possibly grow pumpkins of your own next year. So now what we're going to do is we're going to scoop out the stuff on the inside, but we're going to scrape the walls. You take this and kind of scrape the walls, and what happens is when you scrape the walls, all the things that are on the inside get pushed down to the bottom, and because they get pushed down to the bottom, it makes it easier to grab and pull out. So we're going to scrape the sides like this, and then as you can see, it looks a little different than it did before because everything is down in the bottom. Now, once it's down in the bottom, you reach your hand in and you grab it and it comes out ooey gooey nasty. There's the top, so keep that away. And then you reach in again and it's ooey gooey nasty and seeds everywhere. And then more ooey gooey seeds, more seeds, pretty cool, but still ooey gooey, fun. You get to get all dirty and slimy. You pull as much out as you can, and then what you would do, go back in with your scraper, scrape the bottom now to get everything loose. You can actually hear the scraping on the bottom, but look what happened. All that gooey stuff disconnected from the bottom of the pumpkin, and you can hear it. Now listen. Yeah, you heard some of the scraping? You may have heard my cat meowing because the cat thinks it's time to be fed. There's the cat. Yes, darling. But we're working on a pumpkin. So we have more scraping, and we have pretty much everything out of the pumpkin. I'm gonna get a couple more seeds out of the bottom, reach in there with my hand, pick out a couple more seeds, and then you can look and see how much cleaner the inside of the pumpkin is. That looks okay on the inside. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna mark the outside to make the face that we want to cut. So if you come in close, I'm going to make the eyes, and I'm just gonna, again, we're gonna mark this. I'm gonna make the eyes like triangles like this. We're gonna mark the face. So there are the eyes. The nose, we're gonna do a triangle that is upside down, and that'll be fun. And then we're going to cut the mouth, and there's going to be some teeth in the mouth, and we're going to come down like this, and we're going to do something like that for his mouth, which ought to be a lot of fun. Remember, you draw all those pieces, then you take your punch and you push in to all these little holes, all these spaces. Now you see, I've already done a lot of these holes before, so it could be easier to see it on the video. You see all these little holes I've done? And then once you do all the holes there, then you'll do the holes here, you'll do the holes here, and you'll do all the holes with his snaggle-toothy mouth. So you just keep sawing away, just all little pieces. You just get in there and you take this saw and you cut through all these little holes. In the process of cutting through all these little holes, eventually you'll have something that is loose, and if you reach inside, you might be able to just punch it out. So there it is, there's the piece, and right there is his eye. Now we have some cleaning up to do, which we'll do in just a minute. And while you're waiting, I'll finish all these other pieces while you're waiting for me to finish all the other pieces, which is what I just said. So now, about the time you're finished, you're going to want to pop out the mouth piece. So let's see how we do. It doesn't have to come out all at once. As you can see, part of it came out there, part of it came out there. And what we have, ladies and gentlemen, is two eyes, a nose, and a mouth with two little snaggle teeth. So we've successfully made ourselves a jack-o'-lantern. So what we're going to do is put it right over here. And we're going to put the lid back on it so that it is complete. But there's one other special thing that we can do. We can light this, put a candle on the inside, and light up our jack-o'-lantern. Now, everyone has the ability to make their own jack-o'-lantern. And in fact, I'm going to make him look just like me.